What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Roman Reigns' title reign will never end. Oh, seriously, that's the rumor. WWE debuting an insane new match type, an update on WWE's King and Queen PLE, WWE stars contract up in the air, Paul Heyman ruined an ex-WWE star's push, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at Roman Reigns' title reign will never end. Our top story today takes a look at the latest news surrounding Roman Reigns' title reign. Reigns has been Universal Champion for over 1,000 days, and now that Reigns has a brand new undisputed title, fans are once again speculating on when Reigns will drop the title. It was initially believed that Reigns would be dropping the title to Cody Rhodes at Wrestlemania 39, but obviously that never happened. But now there are reports that WWE will be booking Reigns in tag team matches on premium live events in order to extend his title reign. According to the notable social media source BWE, Reigns' title reign has no end in sight, noting that the reign is a quote-unquote cash cow. Reigns has solidified himself as a huge draw for WWE, and this was apparent with the astronomical rating for SmackDown last week. It looks like WWE had no plans to end Reigns' impressive reign anytime soon, and it's highly unlikely even to be discussed until WrestleMania 40 next April. But then again, WWE may even go further than that. What do you guys think would be the most appropriate time for Reigns to drop the title? Would it be to surpass Bruno Sammartino? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE to debut an insane new gimmick match. And although Rey and Dominic Mysterio are officially on separate brands, WWE will be breaking the rules of their brand split for a live event on Father's Day next Sunday. The father and son will collide in the first ever Father's Day street fight match. Rey and Dominic had previously collided in an acclaimed match at Wrestlemania 39, and it makes logical business sense to revisit the feud for this special Father's Day live event. The live event is set to take place in Charleston, West Virginia, and is set to feature other matches such as Seth Rollins vs The Miz for the world title, and Gunther defending his Intercontinental Championship against Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura. Next up, a Lineage of the new women's title revealed. This week on SmackDown, WWE revealed a brand new women's title. Now thanks to the official title listing on WWE.com, the Lineage of the new title has been revealed. The new women's title will follow the same lineage as the Raw women's title, which began in 2016. Now some fans were under the impression that the lineage would be new, as that's what WWE have opted to do with the new world title, currently held by Seth Rollins. However, WWE clearly wants to keep the history of the Raw Women's title intact, and it's likely going to be the same situation when it comes to Rhea Ripley's new title. Next up, WWE legend makes a bold claim regarding Charlotte Flair. A WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle recently discussed Charlotte Flair on his podcast, and Angle had some flattering comments to make regarding Flair, and he would even label Flair as the best of all time. Money's a good one to pick. That would be my favourite female outside of WWE. Listen, I love Charlotte Flair. I think she's the best of all time. I think that she's the best wrestler in the world overall. I really do. I think Charlotte Flair has more consistent 5-star matches than any other person. She is really good, but Sasha Banks, Mercedes, she's awesome too. Flair returned to TV this week on SmackDown, interrupting Asuka and declaring her interest in the new women's title. Flair vs Asuka is now set for SmackDown before Money in the Bank. Now, a portion of the WWE fanbase, particularly those on Twitter, have been extremely critical when it comes to how WWE presented Flair on SmackDown. The criticism comes from how once again Flair has been instantly pushed into the title picture, and it seems like WWE have no other booking options than for Flair to be in the title hunt. What do you guys make of WWE's presentation of Flair? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, recent WWE push labelled as strangest push ever. At last, WWE are pushing LA Knight up the card, and as of now, he seems like the firm favourite to win the men's Money in the Bank briefcase next month. However, one notable wrestling personality, the infamous Jim Cornette, has labelled the push of LA as the strangest push in the history of wrestling. Discussing his push on his podcast, Cornette stated, "If this is somehow planned to be this way, then this is the strangest push in the history of wrestling. No matter how much they like him, the fans, they either beat him or he wins by the skin of his teeth and generally gets a short end of the stick every time. People cheer for him because they want to." Whilst Cornette is well known for having controversial takes on modern wrestling, he does have a point when it comes to the way WWE have pushed LA Knight. He managed to get himself over organically during the feud with Bray Wyatt, and it took several months for the WWE to capitalize on his popularity. Next up, an update on the King of the Ring event. WWE had originally planned for last month's Night of Champions event to be called King and Queen of the Ring, but they made the call to change the name of the pay-per-view mainly because they were set to crown a new world champion at the event. Fightful Select have offered an update when it comes to whether or not the King and Queen event have been rescheduled, and it's not looking positive. According to the report, WWE insiders state that they haven't heard anything about their event being rescheduled for later this year. However, it was also stated that WWE keeping the two respective tournaments is in their back pocket for premium live events. So we guess there's some good news at least. Next up, Nick Khan involving himself in WWE creative. It was reported this week that it was CEO Nick Khan who was a mastermind behind the main roster talent appearing in NXT. Khan believes that NXT is once again a viable third brand, and WWE should make the brand as lucrative as possible when it comes to attaining a better deal with the USA Network. Now Khan has influenced another change in WWE, and it relates to the creative for the women's tag division. According to Better Wrestling Experience on Twitter, it was Khan's vision for WWE to implement a feud and unification match between the main roster women's tag champions and the NXT women's tag champions. Judging by the reactions to the segment involving Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Alba Fire and Illa Dawn on SmackDown this week, it was a smart move as the women's tag division finally has some buzz attached to it. Khan is making bold yet exciting creative decisions when it comes to WWE, and whilst the bottom line for Khan is always about increasing the value of WWE's TV rights, you must admit, he knows what's going to make Raw, SmackDown and NXT as thrilling as humanly possible. What do you guys make of the WWE unifying the women's tag titles? Do you think it was the right move? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a WWE star's contract is up in the air. Elias has been in a state of flux on the main roster for some time, and this perfectly represents the current position of his WWE contract. According to Fightful Select, it was believed that Elias's WWE deal was up at the end of last year, and it was not clear if he had re-signed. Fightful asked WWE if Elias had signed a new deal, as many reports had his expiring in late 2022, but we haven't heard back. Next up, Paul Heyman ruined an ex-superstar's push. A former WWE star, Bull Buchanan, has revealed that Paul Heyman brought his planned push to a dramatic halt in the early 2000s. The former Right to Censor member told Developmentally Speaking that he was set to reprise the infamous Waylon Mercy character on the main roster. However, Heyman, who was in charge of SmackDown creative at the time, wasn't a fan of the pitch and cancelled the idea. Buchanan was going to be announced as Jamie Noble's cousin, and Heyman believed that the creative pitch would lead to Buchanan becoming a third wheel alongside Noble and Nydia. And finally, a WWE Hall of Famer rips modern WWE. Our final story today takes a look at recent comments from Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase, who isn't a fan of one element of modern WWE. On the latest edition of his podcast, he had some rather negative things to say when it comes to the modern landscape at WWE, in particularly how much WWE script their promos. They do these scripted promos nowadays, and I can't stand it. DiBiase went on to say that he outright refused to follow a script when he had a stint in NXT. I said, look, I'm going to look this over and I'm going to say what the message is here, but I'm not going to be word for what you've written. It's going to be me. The more me it is, the more real it is to people. It's worth noting that since Triple H became the head of WWE Creative, the number of scripted promos in WWE has drastically decreased. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.